The next thing I wanted to talk about with you guys is a concept called the one thing. If you've read the Expert Secrets book, I go pretty deep into this. We talk about the one thing. We talk about different sentences and phrases that you can write to be able to figure out what your one thing is. But for the context of this training course, I want you to understand just one core concept behind this. The more things you try to convince your potential customer of, the harder it's going to be to sell them. Okay. A little while ago, I was talking to Perry Belcher, who is one of the partners over at Digital Marketer, and they've done tons of offers throughout time. I've done the same thing, tons of offers. And I was talking to Perry, and he said one thing he found interesting is they looked back over all their offers. He said the more things they tried to convince somebody to believe inside of their sales message, their video, their ad, their webinar, whatever it was, the more things they tried to convince them of, the lower it dropped conversion. He said that the offers that where you just tried to convince them of one thing were the ones that were the best. And so you have to figure out when you're selling something like, what is the one thing that somebody has to believe for them to give you money, okay? And sure, there's 1,000 things that it could be, but I want you to think about, like, what is the one big domino? If you can knock down that domino, then it makes all the other dominoes obsolete. Either knocks them down or they're just no longer important to you, okay? And in my belief is every single sales presentation, there is a big domino that you have to get them to believe. If you can convince them of that one thing, then they have to buy your thing. They have to buy your product or have to buy your service. Okay, even if you look at the perfect webinar, I remember I was talking a lot about the one thing with people, and then they said, well, yeah, but your perfect webinar, you're doing the one thing and the 3 secrets and all these things. And I said, no, like if you understand, like if you look at that, the one thing in the perfect webinar is the one thing I can get them to believe. And then all the 3 secrets are all things that are re-emphasizing the one thing over and over again from different directions. But I'm just trying to get them to believe one core thing. And that's your job as a marketer. You're creating your offers and your messages is what is the one thing. And so I want you to start thinking through that. We'll have some exercise and things down below for you to kind of figure that out deeply. But for you to really core to understand that if you have to convince them to believe more than one thing in your offer, it's going to cut your conversion rates in half or more. If you can break it down to like, this is the one thing. If they believe this, they have to buy my product. They have to give me money. They have to invest in this thing. If you figure out what that is for you, then it becomes really, really easy to sell. And then everything you're doing now is convincing them of that one thing. And it makes selling, the whole selling process really fun and really easy and really, really exciting. But you got to really spend some time to figure out what is your one big domino? What is the one thing that if you can knock that over, everything else becomes obsolete. And that is the goal for this section, is to figure out what is the one thing for your offer.